Well, still getting a little set up here. It's not early, is it? Well, I'm back to exercising again. I was living between injuries. That's what happens when you get old. Hello, Matthew. Hope you are having a wonderful day. I am. It's nice. It's almost 60 or 50 or something like that today. Most of the time, the weather around here has been 30 or 40. I think tomorrow it's going to be back down. So I can't get too used to this, and that's important. But it's sort of like getting used to Trump. You get used to it.
No.
Smiley said no. But I'm sure worse will happen. What I worry about more is that we're, as a nation, we're no longer the big cheese in the world. And there's other people competing for that. And we have to get serious and grow instead of doing things willy-nilly and getting nowhere. But we already voted, so we gotta live with this. And maybe it'll shake things up.
Yeah.
And we'll realize what we'll do and to do something to make the whole country a little better. But what I want to talk about today are the programs that are available. I mean, everything they're doing, Musk and Trump, are really grandstand stuff, so they could prove to their constituents, they're doing the 2025 thing or whatever it is. But most of the programs will be still there. Everything will be. I mean, they're going to give out $18,767 to every American this year, just like they did last year. But last year was only 17,000. So this year it's more. It's 18,000, and that's what's giving out. Now, so the things you read, are a lot hurtful for people, particularly here in Washington, losing jobs. I mean, he's cutting out tens of thousands of jobs just overnight. People had no warning what to do, and so but that's a different issue. But I want to make sure that people know that Charity, did you find any of those things? I emailed you something, and I also sent a package too. The email is today. I wonder if you got those. Yes. Did you get both? Email today. Yeah, the man with the funny hair needs to take it back a few notches. Whatever. I know everybody doesn't agree on everything. Oh, that's great, Charity. But who's ever in charge, these programs are there. And that's what's important, that you know about. They're there. I mean, because we have 40% of everything in our country is there to help people. Okay, we have two economies in our country. One is capitalism, that's one economy, and the other is what I call the community economy, and that's where people help people. Okay, so capitalism, as far as the size of our country, capitalism represents 60% of everything in our country is capitalism, okay? But 40% of got this upside down. 40% is what I call the community. So the community is 40% of everything, and they're not in Google, and they're there to help people, okay? So 40% of everything in our country is there to help you. They give you money, they give you free services, but people don't know how to get it because they're not trained, and all we know is Google, and Google is there to sell you something. So if you have money and you could solve problems with money, then you go to Google. If you don't have money, then you have to learn this other system. And that's what's important, is to learn how to use the community system. And that's what we do at Let's Go Help. We do this 24/7. We got 12,000 members that help each other. And the way we do this is members help members. So like today, you could get on live on our platform at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And for all the major problems you have in life, I mean, if it's debt and bills, I mean, these programs aren't going away no matter what they do here in Washington. Also for buying a house, fixing up a house, these programs aren't going away. How much or whatever will vary, but the majority of it will be the same as last year, and probably the same as next year. What the current administration do, no matter who it is, they push the needle in another direction. So it's more important, their decisions have more effect in the long run, not in the short run. So that's important to know. So if you're trying to solve a financial problem today, don't worry about all this, the hot air that's coming out of Washington, by both parties. And the problem is that the one party said they're gonna cut all this, the other party gets so upset and it's gonna be the end of the world. And so, to me, what happens is that people think, oh, it is maybe the end of the world, so I shouldn't apply. And that is something you have to get out of your head, because that's a few places will be a little different than they were before, yes. Like today, I just put in, and I'll put this in the YouTube. I think I could do that for some reason. I think I did it last time. But the 10 new programs to help people that I collected today, I want to share with you, and that's what I'm going to go over. Now let me put that in the chat. So you have these 10 programs, here they are in the chat. And I know a lot of these programs aren't for where you are. Some are, some aren't. But I want you to see these because you see the kinds of things that may be available where you are. And it may be not the same, maybe a little different. So that's why what you have to do is start looking for those programs where you live. Okay, programs like this. And that's what we do at Let's Go Help Us show you where to look in that. You can't keep up on all the programs. There's no way anybody, us or even NASA, can have a complete database of all the programs that are available. And because they change so often. And that's the important thing. Okay, I just put the list in YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see it there. And on Let's Go Help 2, you could see it there. Okay, I started emailing. There you were. I want you to know right away and say thank you so much. On times right there, you guide us out of the dark, so bright with your beautiful heart. Thank you, Charity. It's a pleasure. It makes me feel good, and it grows my heart helping you. You're a hero and always stand to tell the truth. The fact that most generous, well, awfully nice of you to say that. But, okay, here's the kind of things that it may help. What they're doing is getting rid of people a lot. So when they get rid of people, that means you may be waiting on hold longer. This kind of thing, if you're calling. But see, most of the programs I'm giving you are really at the state and local government. They're not at the federal. And what Trump is doing and Musk is getting rid of people in Washington, working for the federal government. That's all he can. He can't get rid of anybody in your state or your county or anything. And what happens, the money goes to the local, and they're the ones that help you fill out the applications and everything. So when you see, like now, I saw a headline today, Musk wants to cut out all the people at IRS. Now that's interesting to me. So he wants to get rid of people at IRS, particularly in the beginning of tax season. And they've just been building up the IRS to go. Now the IRS, every year, there's 400 billion worth of uncollected taxes that people scam the IRS, okay? And they get away with it because we don't have people to get them. It's sort of like if Tesla was selling cars and didn't collect their money. So these are people that are using our government and not paying their taxes, and to the tune of $400 billion. I mean, that is, like, I think that the amount of money in USAID is like $50 billion, okay? So that's like 10% of the money that we could collect extra. Every year we get an extra $400 billion if we had enough people to go after these things, But, now they want to cut more people out of the IRS, because don't forget, billionaires are more comfortable if there's less IRS people around. So that's what it is. And that's why it's hard for me to judge that what they're doing isn't more for the rich instead of the people. The people trying to fill out taxes now have to go to, H&R Block and pay $300-400, because they can't. So that's why I'm telling people right now, and this is one of the links I have there in the description, is to make an appointment now with your local IRS to sit down and fill out the tax form. There's two places to go, okay? You go to findhelp.org and put in taxes, and you'll find local nonprofits that will help you with the taxes. And you go to irs.gov and then contact your local IRS office. So irs.gov and put contact your local IRS office, okay? And they'll have a map, you put in your zip code and see all the IRS offices where you live. They have the hours, you can make an appointment on the phone or in person to go over your taxes, how to fill them out if you have a problem. And because you walk into an H&R Block or one of these other people, they're gonna get $300-400 from you, no matter what. And it's not that complicated. They try to scare you and things like that. And I'm biased on that. I wrote a whole tax book years ago. And I went to the IRS and I sat in the Freedom of Information Act office. And I sat there for about a couple of weeks and reading all the Freedom of Information Act letters. That's where, anybody can write a Freedom of Information Act letter to find something in the government, and they have to find it for you. So, and see, the problem with government information, you don't even know what to ask for. So I would go down and read all these letters from professors and everybody all over the country that were trying to find things in the government. Like one letter was trying to find the manuals for IRS auditors, what they have to follow when they come and audit you. So that's, my book was full of things like that. So I show people, hey, you could order these manuals from the IRS office, the Freedom of Information Act office at the IRS, and find out step by step what an auditor has to do and say and everything if they come and audit you. Now that's sort of like getting the test ahead of time, isn't it? And that's public information. See, that's what's good about government. It's open source. It's open information. My first New York Times bestseller was with a government office in the government that I copied verbatim. I flunked English in college. I'm no English literature person or something, and I still can't spell for beans. And that is, that's what government is. We all own this, and you have a right to use it. And that's what bothers me, is that I spent so many years helping millionaires like Musk get all this stuff, and I said, why doesn't everyone use this? Because they don't know. And that's what bothered me. And that's what bothers me about billionaires coming here and figuring out, I mean, they're making the system easier for them, right? That'd be my natural thing. You're gonna put me in charge. I'm gonna stuff easier for me. So if we have billionaires running around, they're making it easier. And they already got money from the government, lots. Musk is probably #1 on the list. And then what they're doing too is getting rid of the cops that stop. Like Musk is being investigated in 11 agencies now on his contracts. He gets billions of dollars of government contracts every year. So they have an inspector general in every office to make sure everything's legit. And actually Donald Trump's father was always investigated. That's how he learned about all this stuff. So that's why one of the first things that Musk did is fire all the attorney, what's that?
Inspector General.
Inspector General, all the Inspector Generals from 11 agencies. And about 5 of those agencies were people that were investigating him. So that's why you just have to be careful of people's motives. About your first book before the internet, right? Yes, I've been doing this way before the internet. Yeah, I'm so excited. I stood up at the At least the last two are getting stood up. Okay. Good afternoon. Just saw this live. Are there live recordings on YouTube or on this site? Yeah, we have. We'll have a copy of this on the site too, and it's on YouTube too. I have so much FOMO, and his team are so knowledgeable. You know what? You have FOMO. You know, I tell my wife I have phobi. My fear of being invited somewhere, and I got to figure out how to get out of it. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm getting over that. No, I agree with you. The oligopolies are getting government grant. Oh, absolutely, Vita. I mean, that's a problem, and that's, I think, a problem. And that's why I'm trying to teach the average person about what's there and how important this is. And that's why I feel for the main things that most of us need is a job, getting out of debt, starting a business, and paying your bills. Oh, that's debt, I said. So job, housing. So a job, housing, business, and debt. Those problems are galore. I went to the GIC, not again. I don't know what the GIC is, David. I remember hearing that someone in this group got 22,000. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, it's rare, to tell you the truth, but I think she's one of the colleagues, more power to her and all of it. Yes, I mean, it is, I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds. You go to our website on Facebook, we'll get off of there. We got 400 or 500 testimonials there are just killers. I guarantee government, oh, I see, okay. Yeah, don't know about that. But okay, let me rattle off these. These are new grants, okay, around the country. And what you have to do is find out something like this where you live. So it's always going to be different in every county, city, whatever. And that's why, so a main thing about all that's happening in Washington really doesn't affect it so much. But if you're calling Washington, it may. And the way to get around that is call your elected official. So if you go to commoncause.org, man, my disk drive up here is getting a little rusty. So commoncause.org, go there, put in your zip code, and you'll find you have at least 3 federal programs, and they will have, now, the programs, actually your federal program, what people don't realize. Now here's a listing of, see, they brag, the elected officials brag how they help people, okay? Because then if they help a person that's in their, constituency, then they could brag they're doing their job. and they'll get paid. And if they get you 50 grand for something, you'll vote for them forever. So here's a one from Congressman Ryan, okay? I'm not even sure where he's at, but here, you could call your Capitol Hill too. It's 202-224-3121. And call them up and say, hey, you need this, need that, or whatever. Or if you want to start a business and have a nonprofit, they'll help you. Okay, here's another testimonial from this congressman. It's a quote from one of his constituents. It says, I spent 30 months trying to get my Social Security benefits and got nowhere. And then after contacting Congressman Ryan's office, I was put in touch with Destiny, who interceded on my behalf and got me results. I cannot thank her enough, and I'm totally sincere when I say her help changed my life. See, they have the power to do this. You're elected officials, so much power to do this. Okay, now here's Congressman. From day one, the congressman saying this, from day one, my top priority has been delivering much needed economic relief to our neighbors across the county, says Congressman Ryan. My team leaves no stone unturned to make that our families receive every dollar they deserve. Everyone's feeling the pressure of making ends meet. They're helping deliver an extra breathing room. We're helping deliver an extra breathing room families need to finally exhale. If there is absolutely anything my team or I can be helpful with, please do not hesitate to reach out. Okay, now this congressman said this year he got $30 million for his constituents. Now, if you didn't call him, he didn't get you any money, right? So he got $30 million from his constituents. I'm grateful with the excellent assistance I got from the Congressman's office. For 2 years, we have been trying to resolve the problem with the IRS, and because of the intervention of his office, the issue was promptly resolved, and we actually received interest on the amount that due from the IRS. It took something special to get this matter looked at, and Congressman Ryan's office did that. See, for 2 years, retiring from the federal service, my 2022 tax return was held up by the IRS for 9 months. I had plans for my refund. The caseworker assured me this problem would be resolved in 2 weeks. As promised, I received my refund electronically. It was nice to see the government working effectively. See, I mean, these are real people. Yeah, so that's why when the government gets stuck, and it will, bureaucracies are like that. You try to get something at Comcast. It's the same thing. Just bigness is like that. Did you say, yes, I did say that, Vita. 202-224-3121. I forget what you needed. I think yesterday you said you needed something, and I thought I could help. Sorry, I can't write that fast. I barely can talk that fast. I should just type that in here, right? That would help everybody. 202. Now, remember, every office will be different. You may get some idiot, or whatever, or somebody on their bad day. You can't, don't trust on everybody being perfect. None of us are perfect, so we call somebody who supposedly help us, and we want that poor person to be perfect. We ourselves are not perfect. We have high standards for other people than we do ourselves. So have an open mind and give them a chance to help you. And then see, also on the federal level, you have 3 people. You have 2 senators' office and 1 congressman's office. They all do the same thing. So any problem. So you could ask them, hey, I'm looking for scholarships to go back to school. I'm looking for help to start a business, or I want to get a government contract, or any of those kinds of things. But also there's help like that at the local level too. Nonprofit organizations. Vita, yes, you recommend some links for, oh, that's right, Survivors, my mom, take care of, appreciate that. And we'll look into that. Okay, still in chemo, but I'm a bit loopy and slow. Well, I'm sure you're cute when you're sloopy and slow. That could make you more adorable. So don't worry about being human. And not even I had a degree to it, so and David says, in 1984, I had a degree to a not sure that, the second woman voted to the bench, issued an order of infants compromise. I don't know whether, I wanted to wait until I was an adult to see if there's true effect of my injury. Part of the settlement, she called my local bank to have them open an account and offer me the highest interest rate that gave best compromise. 10% you were getting, wow. And it was fixed. And then my great mother closed it, not leaving $1. Well, okay, the FDIC, other government office, should resolve the issue. Did you call the FDIC? That's what you should do. And this is something because it's a federal. See, I would say call the consumerfinance.gov, but Trump called, or Musk closed that, and it's been closed for a week. So I don't know if they'll be open soon, but they're perfect for investigating this. But if they're not, then if the bank, I guess you know the bank, but call your elected official because they can track that down easier. The other thing, David, is to find out in that state, wherever that bank is, you want your banking commissioner, there's a commission, look at our report on free legal help for all the states. So we have a report that gives you free legal help for all the states. And maybe I could get that for you here. It's a bit.ly. it's a dot, let's go. Slash, let's go legal help, yeah, okay, let's go legal help. Okay, okay, I got it there. Okay, go here, David, here. bit.ly/let's-go legal help. I think I know how to spell let's go. Okay, bit.ly let's go legal help. Okay, and those on YouTube. Okay, it's bit.ly/ and then all small letters, let's go legal help. Okay. Thanks. I watch your commercials. Oh my goodness, right? As a kid back in Maryland, I have aged. Oh, we've all aged, didn't we? But you look exactly, really? Even with this hair, it looks the same as back in the 70s or 80s, 90s, or whatever it is. Vita, okay, well, what do we get? What do we do getting grants from agencies and what are closed due to Musk dodge? Don't worry about what's closed, okay? You just go ahead and look for help and figure it out when it gets there, because everything has more than one source. You know, I feel like everyone but us in the group got USAID money. Yeah, I mean, because that's what you hear. See, you hear all the bad stuff. So they make a decision in Washington, somebody gets affected, and then particularly the opposite party screams and see how bad these people are. So that's why you hear it. And then the people who are affected by it, you hear it. But that's 1/umpteenth infinitesimal, so fucking small of what's going on. And you can't let that change your attitude about what's out there. It's still out there. They're gonna give out $18,000 to every adult this year, no matter what these people do. So they're gonna try to change the course a little bit, but it won't affect you. And that's why you just can't let this affect you. Okay, let me go through these other programs before. Okay, the one, oh yeah, here, 60, well, this is interesting, I found out. 2/3 of the people believe the government spends too little money on Social Security and education. Yeah, so there's a new polling thing. I mean, polling things are who knows what, but at least they'll give you some kind of thing. Oh, here's a new fire for people affected by the grants. Grants for the California fires, $25,000 grants for small businesses affected by the fires, and $2,000 for just normal people that have jobs. So if you were working and you got hurt with the money, because you couldn't work anymore or whatever, well, there's a $2,000 grant there, and I'm sure there's unemployment too. And then if your small business got hurt too, there's an extra $25,000 there. And I got the link here in the description in the chat on Let's Go Help 2 for members, and also I put it up in the YouTube. Okay, here's another interesting program in Illinois where they're giving $75,000 to small businesses who have a good idea and could come up with a new product, okay? $75,000 grant, that's right, for small businesses, okay? That's what it is. And it's called the Innovation Voucher Grant. You know, they have grants for housing. Well, here's grants to create a new product or an idea, okay? And that's what that grant's for. Was really punished 2 years later. Heading up, yeah, Liberty Merchant Media. I think the highest paid CEO. Yeah, I think I remember I was in the infomercial business and stuff like that. That sounds like one of those guys who owned the Liberty Media. Were they in Philadelphia, I think? Anyway, they were a big media company. I was doing, actually, I would do a lot of infomercials and stuff, but I never buy time. I would get free time. There's a lot of free time out there. Okay, so innovation voucher grant, $75,000. It's in Illinois, and I got a link there for you. Plenty of free one-on-one professional tax help. Now, this is what I talk about. The IRS is trying to cut down on that. I told you about this. So you want to go, or Musk is trying to cut down, get rid of people at the IRS. So that means there'll be less people to handle your questions. And what he's interested in is less people going after people who don't pay their taxes. So you go to get free help with the IRS. You go to irs.gov and then contact your local office. And you can make an appointment. They have hours of operation. Make an appointment so you don't have to show up and wait in line. You have an appointment. So irs.gov and then contact your local IRS office. And also go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, okay? And you put in your zip code, and like in my zip code, I have like 47 organizations, I think it was, I saw, that help people for free, okay? To help pay their IRS. Because again, if you go into any of these, storefront tax people, they're gonna get $300 for you at least, and you don't wanna do that. I'm biased, I'm sure it's not true for everybody, most people don't, but 99% of us, it's too easy to spend money like that. And then they sell you money, so if you get a refund, they wanna borrow money, they'll give you money right away, and then they get a high interest rate on that, and that's a little scam going on there. Okay, so we have grants for unemployed artists, how do you like that? That's right. Unemployed artists, $3,000 grants for unemployed artists. So every state, city, county has stuff like that. You want us to contact your artist. Let me look and see what Find Help is. But you have an arts council at your state capital, okay? And findhelp.org. An arts council at your state capital. Now, I'm gonna put in my say, like the one in DC is terrific. They help you get grants and everything, so artists, A-R-T. And actually for arts organizations, and, okay, okay, now it's verifying I'm a person. Okay, there's 13 organizations in Washington, D.C. that give a financial aid to artists, okay? So you want to go there, and also call your arts council. Every city, every state has an arts council in your state capital. So you could probably call 211 and ask them for it, because they have a database, I'm sure, of even more people to get grants and money from if you're an artist. So don't forget to ask them that, okay? I heard you're going through the government for taxes. It's easier to get audit. No, that's silly. No. No, I mean, that's, the government's not that smart. Wow, thanks. No, it's silly. I do my own all the time. I go to the office and I go to the government. If I have a question, I just wait on hold and wait for the answer. Otherwise, if I call an accountant, they want to charge $300 for an answer even. Now, that's silly. And they're not hardly, I mean, they're not auditing hardly anybody, and that's the problem. See, the rich people stop all the bills that get more auditors so we can get that $400 billion, okay? So that's like enough to spend money on 10 USIA offices, 10 every year. And we just let that go because the rich people run the place here. I feel like I'm buying into so much fear. Yeah, absolutely. I gotta listen to you. Yeah, no, everything runs on fear in our country. What is all this stuff that you don't need because they know how to put fear in you because it's so easy. That's why Google is just a minefield of that. Everybody there knows how to shake money out of your pocket. You know, they spend it. It's so easy to find out what the magic word is because before, when I first started in this business, we had to use direct mail to find out what worked. And you would take a month or two to figure out what worked. On the internet, you could find 15 examples and see which one works. in a minute and be able to get money from it. That's why, to me, if you don't have money, you have to stay away from Google and learn the other issues. I have an old issue with the federal government. I'm still paying restitution. Should I? Yes, you should. Tyler, call them up and say, you have trouble paying this and you can't pay it. You need a better deal. And they'll help you do that. Oh, they should. And if one doesn't do it, you get another one, okay? So you have probably about 12 people to do it for you. Okay, another 12 million awarded to employees in Michigan. Oh, this is interesting. Michigan just had to give employees who were fired because they wouldn't get a COVID shot, okay? Well, they just been awarded $12 million. They won that, okay? So the organization has to pay them. I think it was some health, whatever. That's interesting. And here's 51 small businesses in Ohio just got $9,019 each in a grant. And that's somewhere in Ohio. See, that's what I mean. These things are happening all the time. And you have to get out there and find out what's in your area. And the way you do that is by talking to people. If you're a business, you want to go to sba.gov/local-assistance, sba.gov/local-assistance, and make an appointment with local counselors. And they'll help you track down what's local. Okay, here's another new program in Connecticut. $12 million in grants available for home repair. Lots of home repair, lots of money, grants coming out locally from the federal government, sent down to the local for home repair. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't understand it because I don't know real estate that well. But they're giving grants now because a lot of people are inheriting property from their parents or grandparents or whatever. They have title issues, okay? And that takes money for lawyers, of course, to do that. So they have grants up to $50,000 to help pay to get you out of those title issues, yeah? And that's what's important to know. And so that's what the grants for anything. You have problems or whatever, tell us what you're looking for, and we'll help point you in the right direction. Look for housing. We have that new, the tab on the left-hand side says, I need money for. Go there, and we got housing, step-by-step, how to get money for housing. We have another one coming up in the next day or two for starting a business, and another one for getting out of debt. So you have a step-by-step, and then we have special researchers that will answer your questions about any of this, and then special, workshops that you join to talk to other people who are having that problem too. See, it's all, Let's Go Help is all about people helping people and helping each other because it feels so wonderful to help each other. And I want to help other people get that feeling that I get. And that's why I do this. And I do it for free, but I have to pay my mortgage. So we have to do. The doctor's 80, so actually his bill. Let's see, what are you talking about, David? I got physically and permanently injured. I'm a young person by high-risk surgery. Woo! It runs and destroyed my health. I have a nice burr hole from the surgery. Ooh. I have to miss so much school before the internet. The hospital promised I'd get a full ride for college. I had a low settlement with a high interest bearing account. The doctors in the 80s actually would still bill for the office so much money in the entire fiasco cost. And today I'm earning $6. Good for you. Been able to work given, wait a minute, so much money. And today I was earning 6 figures, but unable to work given I'm 50. Why? I'm 80. I'm still working, but those doctors likely knew how to steal my earnings of wages since I'm not sure I understand that. I mean, you got to get somebody to sit down with you for free on that. If you go to findhelp.org and put in legal to find legal help, that's what I would think. I mean, well, I can't give advice. I wouldn't. You gotta know the details to give advice. I got shed painted, had grant, like, nah. June said, I had asked a question not long ago, using AI, and it depended on certain circumstances. I don't know, it changed, but I asked Perplexity Pro for the current time as of today. Okay, but here, thank you, Denise. Okay, I got my grandkids coming over here soon, guys. I have to be Bosco the Clown for these guys. I scared the hell out of them yesterday. I had this big, I don't know, maybe you saw it, I think I sent an email out of me and the blow up of me. Oh, let's see, where is, I don't know if I have that blow up of me. I got too much paper. You know, we're supposed to be a paperless society, but paper somehow is, oh, here it is. Yeah, I had a Valentine's Day party over the weekend. That's me going down the street in Adams Morgan, where I live in Washington, D.C., and I had to get this big giant balloon, part of the, we had a Valentine's Day party in our lobby of the apartment building I'm in. We got about 70 units here, and we drank for about 4 or 5 hours in the lobby. Had that, and I had a big blow-up heart. I mean, this is a blow-up heart, but the other one was huge. I was 7 feet tall, you know, and it was like a man. Actually, you could get inside. It was a costume, so I didn't wear it, but I did wear it and went over to see my grandparents, grandkids, not grandparents. They are gone long ago. And that's it. So Vita, Benny, all the nice, loving people that are here. Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you for helping everybody. All I want to do for the rest of my life is help as many people as possible before I die. Yeah, I think, I mean, I was 80 years old, so I'm certainly different than when I was 50, but that's the most important thing I feel I could do. You guys are the best neighbors. It's great. You have and will continue to do so. Hiya, Valerie. Okay, guys, let me go. Don't forget, 5 o'clock, I think we have a, I forget who it is, but there's another live Zoom call. So look at the workshop, and also sign up for our, if you need a house, and look for the new programs where the house is, and it's the tab, I need help. I need money for, I forget, you'll see it on the left-hand side, okay? Yeah, yeah, you can't write just that. You have to do more than write letters, David. And even if there's some justice involved, it's really, you have to talk to people and talk to as many people as possible if you want to get justice. But to me, I would think you want to learn how to earn income. I don't understand why you can't earn income if you're earning $100,000 a year, and you can't just because you're 50. Just ICE. That's immigration stuff. Okay, guys, I got grandkids coming, and they're going to look for the clown. So, see you soon. Thank you for everything.